Hi, last video blog. Um, I guess more than anything, rather than reflecting on a single piece, I think I just wanted to reflect on moving forward in my identity development and continued identity development. So, one thing I'm worried about is going forward is not maintaining conversation. I think one thing I've taken out of this class is like an increased articulation and obviously like critical use of vocabulary and etc. I mean, when talking about whiteness in general, as well as I really enjoyed the arc of the theory presentation, starting with kind of critical theory or radical pedagogy, with Freire, and moving all the way forward to queer theory and feminist theory, and kind of talking about where we go from there. I guess I'm also slightly confused, but will continue to read just because of my confusion about where queer theory and critical race theory overlap. And I know that there's some camps of specifically black feminists and black feminists who have become queer theorists that have talked about like black bodies being queer, or, again, the queer theorists saying that everybody who is queer is the overarching umbrella of sort of oppressed and therefore low-voiced people. And being in a school, I know that I naturalize my language to the environments that I'm in, so I'm going to have to work hard and be creative about how I continue to engage in these conversations, especially when everybody around me is not engaged in them or is tired of them, or, it's basically like, I'm done, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Or where people shut down at work, or it's very easy to avoid conversing about, again, power dynamics, where, again, the day-to-day focus, as I've experienced last year, seems to be on, oh, well, like, who needs, like, reports done, and, like, when are we going to be teaching this unit of math, etc. It's difficult because I think my journey continues to be in interacting with other people, obviously. Like, that's the next step, and that's the continued steps, but continuing in a critical way. And I understand that I can't change other people's behaviors, but it is sort of my prerogative to try to change their thoughts, which I think is even more controlling and more threatening, and I'm struggling with that conception. And I'm not sure what to do with it. So I know I've come a long ways in realizing my own sort of privilege, and I think starting there is a good point in developing this like professional development workshop. I think that's been helpful for me, just because I have to think about where other people are, and again, sort of course design, but like very mini course design. So what's the most important thing to me? What was the most important thing in my journey? And also listening to my peers in the program, listening to Lizzie and Joe and Wilma and Susie, some of these people that haven't thought about it at all before, and seeing where they start is actually helpful to me too, because I've taken the other route where I've been aware of the oppression, but not inherently. Not every day, it just comes up in incidents, because again, I can ignore it if I want, and that's part of privilege, and I realize that's wrong. So, and again, it just gives me something else to look for in everyday life, not just at school. And I'm excited to be sharing this kind of a journey with my students, and then also not worrying too much about the academics, in the sense that if I teach to a responsive model following any of these sort of critical thinking lines, then hopefully the kids will come along with me. And I'm not so worried about that. I'm pretty confident in making bonds and maintaining them. So thanks a lot for this class. We'll see you tomorrow, Monday, as it were, and hasta luego.